Okay, so here we're going to look at layers for controlling the visibility of your graphics in AutoCAD. And we've got in front of us here a drawing of a brick, which is 215 by 65. I've taken off the text because I want to show you how the layers would actually be used for text and dimensions. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our Home tab. Make sure you're in the Home tab. Go to Layers, Layer Properties, and we're going to set up some layers, and this means that we can either switch on or switch off the text. We can switch off the dimensions. You could find this useful, for example, if you were a plumber but you didn't want to see the landscaping, then the person doing the CAD drawing would switch off the landscaping to make it less confusing. That's just one way of putting it. So, new layer, first of all, up here, this little kind of orange sunshine, and we'll type in text, and let's make the text a yellow color. Go again to new layer. This time we'll make it dims, short for dimensions. Let's make that one a grey color. Let's make this one brick. Let's make that red. And I think that will do us for now. I'm just going to close that. You could set the current layer to any of these here. So, for example, you could set that for text, for example, and then close. Okay, I'll just do that again. Set that to text. There we go. Now, we've already set up our text style and our dimension style, so let's show you how this works. If I want to do text, I need to be in my text layer. Okay, there's no point in me really being in my dimensions layer if I'm going to start drawing text. So let's get into the text layer straight away. You can do this if you forget. You can change it, but this is the best way to do it. Go to Annotate, type in single line. We've done this in a previous tutorial, but we didn't have the layers set. That's okay. And let's type in brick. Enter, enter. So you'll see there that your brick text is on your brick layer. Okay, go to your Home tab. Just to check that out here. You've got brick here, you've got text up here. Okay. Also, if you go into the properties, hover over this little arrow here, you should see that everything that you draw is by layer. Now, it's best to stay like that. Make sure that everything is drawn by layer instead of by block. And once you start playing around with colors, you can trip yourself up. So I would advise you to make sure that you've got by layer here. Okay. Next thing, we're going to go back into Annotate again, into our Annotate tab, and we will go to our dimensions. But first of all, like I said before, we need to make sure that we're in our dimensions layer. So we'll go back to Annotate, go back and forward here, sorry. And let's now apply a linear dimension to that. So click on the left side to start, drag it over to the right side, click again, and then drag and land it there. So you'll see that we're now on our dimension layer. It's light gray. Do that the same again here. Okay, so now let's see. Say we forgot to change the brick into the red layer, okay, and we wanted to change that. Go back into your Home tab, select that brick like so, and then just go to the drop down tab here, brick, and it changes to the brick layer. Now let's say we want to hatch that. Now a hatch has got a double line across for brick. Let's go to hatch. And here you'll see a few patterns to start you off. Luckily, the brick hatch is shown here, ANS 132 or A32. That's the American standard. And we'll click inside that, like that. Now, let's say you want to make that hatch red. Select it. Got to go back to home in this case. Still selected. And go to brick. And make that hatched. Now, let's say we want to turn this text off, but wanted to keep the dimension text on. The good thing is we've got these separate. Text and dimensions are separate. So I'm going to turn the text off with this little light bulb here, and you'll see that disappears. Okay, unfortunately we leave a little gap here. There's nothing we can do about that. You could just redo that hatch again if you wanted. But this is quite handy, as I said, for controlling the visibility of what you have on your sheet. And it means that, let's say you had lots and lots of different dimensions all around. You could actually pick one, select one. You could right click it. And then what you could do is you could actually select similar, and it would select all other dimensions on that same sheet, like that. Okay, so that's a little introduction to layers, and we'll be using that a lot more from now on. So tune in for the next tutorial, in which case we're going to draw a concrete sill.